broadcasting from sunny Jacksonville, Florida. Great to be with you. Isn't this incredible? I can be in Florida. I know, Christine, I'm sorry I didn't bring you. I was supposed to bring you. Christine and I have done an annual Florida trek a couple of times. I'm here getting my parents packed up to come back up to North Carolina. So we're driving back up on this Thursday. And I just, I don't like that we're all separated, but I do appreciate the ability to still lead rehearsal when I'm, 1,000 miles away. So brain, ear, deep breath in. Take a moment, put your mind on music. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes, and I want you to think of your favorite type of music. And maybe an artist or a band that you like. And I want you to hear that music in your mind for a moment or two. Just think of any kind of music you like. It can put you in a place of peace. It can energize you. Just hear and listen to that music in your mind without singing, without turning on anything. You're just listening. And it's putting you in a great mood for your own music making. Now I want you to think about how you hear, how you listen. When you're in a choir, do you listen for other parts other than your own? Sometimes we're so worried about listening to our own voice or make sure we get the part exactly right that we try to block out all the other parts. And actually choral singing needs to be an embracing of all the harmonies around you. So you're still listening to your own song or your own artist. For just another moment, I want you to take a deep, deep breath. I want you to let it out slowly. And when you do that, I want you to release your tension and stress of the day. Breathe in again. Breathe in all your troubles and release and let them all out. I won't start singing Let It Go because then that's all you'll hear the rest of the night. Sorry, that was not nice. Tonight, I want you to think about vocal parts that are around you that hopefully will be surrounding and overwhelming you in the fall when we're hopefully back together or in some ways back together. I want you to start something new. Tonight, I want you to focus on listening and imagining harmony parts to the melodies that are being played or sung or demonstrated. Of course, you're going to sing what I ask you to sing and work on your own vocal part. But in addition, if it's something simple, maybe we're all singing in unison, like our shape note. What shape note singers do is they build these chords and it's in harmony with others. Yes, it's prescribed, but you can also think about improvising. So you're going to think about harmony and think about how you listen. Take another deep breath. And let's begin. Let's stand. We're going to do something. We're going to think about the three ways or the three areas in which singers breathe. You've done a 3-2-1 before with me. This is similar. I got this by a British practitioner, but I've heard other people do it too. So we're going to practice a ceiling, what he calls a ceiling breath, which is your upper part of your respiratory system, your upper, just kind of a shallower breath. And what we're going to do is pant. And now, good. You're engaging those lower abs to be able to pant, even though I do want this to be, I want you to think of this in a higher place than we normally would for breathing for singing. Do it again. Good. So you're not taking in a lot of air. You're just taking in a little bit of air. So now we're going to pant without making sound, because that can really dry you out in singing. So now I want you to sing the vowel O, hoo, whoo, which is an open, what they call an open O, and you can put an H in front of it, kind of like Santa Claus. And I want you to open the back part of the aperture, say, whoo, whoo, whoo. And now I want you to pant and try to make as little sound as possible. Ready? Go. I can see you. I can tell you're doing it really well. Are you opening that back space as much as you can, that back part of the mouth? Do it again. Great. Now we're going to do a floor breath. We're going to do a floor breath. And this is when you're using the muscles in the pelvic area. We're doing that like our Christmas tree, our 3, 2, 1 was earlier. So what I want you to do is explore this by using diaphragmatic bursts. So we're going to use the letter P, T, K, T. P, T, K, T. Laura, I don't know if you want to try to put that in the chat. So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to take a low, deep breath and go like that, almost like I'm a beatboxer. Okay, so put a finger or a hand here, and in your own time, ready, go. Good. Whew. That'll wear you out fast. Get that oxygen really going, huh? You should be spitting all over. Maybe don't spit on your partner, or your cat. Let's do that again. That felt really good. Low breath and excellent. Now we're going to use the wall. What I'm now calling the wall. This is your wall. It's your intercostal muscles all the way around. We don't need to call it a tire. That's a little depressing. Let's not say that. Let's call it wall to wall. So we're opening up that space. So we might want to have hands here or hands here. You know what to do. We've done this kind of thing before. And now it's another diaphragmatic burst, but it's suspended. F, S, 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 S. So like I did just puncture the, I don't want to say tire. We're just going to puncture the balloon. So F as in Franklin, F as in Frank, and S as in Sam. Here we go. Breathe. Again, breathe. Pull, 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 pull. And one more. Nice. Now we're going to do one more breath body thing. I want you to rock forward and back. So your feet are about shoulder width apart. One foot is slightly in front of the other. I want you to inhale on the forward, shifting your weight forward. Inhale, low breath. Exhale on the back, shift. You're not doing anything funky here. You're not arching your back. You're staying really nice, but this is nice and subtle and flexible. Ready, breathe. You got that sternum extended. You got the ribs extended. And exhale back. This time we're going to do inhale on one, forward, and then 4 short bursts on like and on the way back, you're doing like F-U, not F-U, Laurel, F-U-H is the, yeah, excuse me, thank you. Breathe in, breathe in, forward. 4 short bursts. All your air should be gone. Breathe in, forward. Short burst. Take a little more time with that with those bursts. They don't have to be staccato bursts. Until all that air, like somebody is gently but firmly punching you in the stomach. Exhale, forward, back. One more, forward. Good work, and all right, that should feel really good. Now I want you to rock back and forth, find that center place. Use your hips, think about the plumb line through the body. Everything's feeling really good. Now we're gonna reach and twist and reach the other way and twist and reach up and twist and reach up and twist. One more big deep breath, reaching up. And exhale and arms down. Make sure your neck is loose, shoulders, loosen all up. All right. Now we're going to start with, can everybody hear that? We're going to do low first, and then we're going to do sow, S-O-W, and then we're going to do throw. Looks like sow, I mean sow. Should be S-E-W, I guess, but doesn't matter. Anyway, so I want you to do low, low, low. Nice big round O. Ready? And sing. Low, low. So you're lifting. Low, low. Do it again. And breath. Go. Low, low. Up. Low, low. Up. Low, low. Change to so with an S. Go. Okay. This time we're going to start on sol, and we're going to go to do on a E-ya, E-ya. This time you can use the Y. Ready? And E-ya, 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 E-ya. Let it go to chest voice. Last one. Nice. Oh, I can't wait till I can cut you off. I forgot how much I love that. Okay. Great. Now, straw time. Straw phonation. First, we're going to do sirens. Sirens, like a police siren. Here we go, on your own pace. Remember, if you're not using a straw, you can lip buzz, or you can just make a really small aperture. It still has a good effect of a semi-occluded or closed vocal tract. Make sure to relax here. Make sure to stay relaxed. Some more sirens, please. This should take a lot of energy down here. So if you're not feeling like you're using very much muscular energy, then you're being lazy about it. So this needs to be a real tight closure or a small aperture. And one more time with the sirens. Okay, good job. Now we're gonna work in perfect fourths. We're gonna work in intervals. You know, a perfect fourth, you'll remember, is Here Comes the Bride, right? So think about a vowel, maybe an oo or an o. And you're gonna slide 1 to 4. We're gonna go up chromatically. Ready? And something different. We're going to do a perfect fourth from here. I want you to do it with the straw or on a very closed oo. And then we're going to sing the same thing without the straw on an E. Here we go. And E. Sing. Last one. Nice. I hope you feel this is helping. I'm getting a lot out of it. It's really, I'm learning a lot too. Great. Okay. Now we're going to look at our repertoire. I'm going to start with the spring rounds. Spring rounds. I don't know if you had a chance to watch my promo, but I talk about shape nose singing and some of the traditions, all of which we can find right here in the Appalachian Mountain region. The one of the things that is certainly not limited to our region are rounds or American folk tunes that are sung canonically, are sung in canon or in a round. I love these little rounds because I think they're good for the voice. They're easy to put together, and we can certainly use them in the fall next season as part of warm-ups. That'll keep it interesting. I also like the pretty lyrical lines. This is an old book, and I couldn't even find, I mean, it's Lawson Gould, but I couldn't even find more information about who compiled these. But this first one, the first tulip. So first we're going to just sing through parts 1 and parts 2, which is, this is one of the most simplistic forms, if not the simplest form of a round, in that is simply an echo. So harmonically it works for one voice to start and the second voice to start in the second bar, and it works. So there's not a lot of harmonic change. So there's a little bit of difference in the second ending only and in the text. Let's sing part 1 together in both, whatever comfortable octave. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and here, look in the garden bed, something beautiful is growing, bright, shaped like a cup all red, tulip opens to the sun. Here we have it. I have pre-recorded part 1, and we're going to sing part 2 against part 1. And if you'd rather just sing part 1 along with the recording, that is perfectly fine. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Different round. Sorry. That's the next one. No, I think on this one, sorry, I recorded both parts. So you can pick the part you want to sing along to. 1, 2, 3, 4. It sounds like a piano lesson, doesn't it? It sounds like my piano lesson with my teacher, and she played the second part. This is a really good one too for building vocal technique. You could sing on with the straw. You know, and keeping all of this relaxed, but also it's really good for the length of the phrase, you know, to regulate the breath. So you're going to breathe, and then when I mean regulate is try to use up all your air by the end of the phrase. So this is a good little piece for a lot of just vocal exercise purposes. Okay, look at the lark and the magpie. I love this one because it's, for one, it's in minor key and 6/8. Who doesn't love that combo? And it's got fun words about the pert little magpie. It's got 3 parts, and you can see by the numbers when to come in. You all know how to do this, but warbled and waggled his tail is also, it's got some good text consonant work for a good warm-up. Let's just sing it all the way through, starting from the top. You're in E minor. You need that a little louder? Or is it okay? It's okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, sing. In a snug little field of park on a beautiful morning in spring. A pert little magpie once asked of a lark if he thought he could teach him to sing. That's part one. Part two. Oh no, said the lark with a comical look as he warbled and waggled his tail. It would be too much trouble and sorrow, and I know I must surely would fail. Part three. For he won't want to listen, the art of a teacher defies, and birds who chatter can never expect to be wise. Nice. And he who won't listen, the art of a teacher defies. I'm at that point in the semester where I think I need to put that up on my Zoom picture. All right, now we're going to sing it just one more time, but up tempo. So the way we would normally do it once we get familiar with it is in a snug little field of a neighboring park. So let's see how you can do. I know this will go too fast for some of you, but you're good singers. You can do it. Get those words, spit them out. 1, 2, 3, 1. In a snug little field of a neighboring park on a beautiful morning in spring, a pert little magpie once asked of a lark if he thought he could teach him to sing. Oh no, said the lark with a comical look as he warbled and waggled his tail. It would be too much trouble and sorrow, and I know I must surely would fail, for he won't listen, the art of a teacher defies, as birds who chatter can never expect to be wise. Nice, fun. Okay. I'm going to skip at Summer Morn. We'll do that next week. That's a lovely. These are a little on the, I think, British side, even though I haven't found the source, but that's just how it strikes me. And then you can read about Philomel, the Greek mythology story. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Anna, if I can figure it out. Let's see. Let me get my thing. So I have a, while I'm working on that, I have an assignment for you in the chat. Put in the chat if you have done any shape note singing. If yes, where and how did you, what did you think of it? How did you like it? So you can put that in the chat anytime during rehearsal, starting now. Have you done any shape note singing? Even if you didn't really know what you were doing. And where was that and how did you like it? I don't want to get you sidetracked and not sing, so you're going to have to multitask. All right. Can Laurel, can you see that? Okay. I'm going to, where's it? All right. So those are our rounds. Shape note singing. Shape note singing appeared early on, about 1800. And I'm not going to give you a history lecture, but I have really taken a deep dive into this, and it's fascinating. It's something I've always wanted to learn more about and how to do it. What was really fascinating to me is that the most commonly used shape note stuff is directly from the Guidonian hand, which Dr. Boone has tattooed on her back. If you didn't know that, it's a known, not so well known fact, but I didn't know that the Guidonian hand that this was a derivative of that, this fa, sol, la, mi, fa, because it has to do with the hexachords. Anyway, this doesn't make any sense to me, this first method, although it is the most commonly still today used methods. So you got 3 fas in this scale, you got 2 sols in this scale, you got 2 laws, it's crazy, and you got 1 mi. But if you look at the hexachord design, which I'm going to throw up here next Monday, it makes more sense. The 7-shape system is represented in the 2 songs, the 2 hymns that I picked for us to sing through, and they're very singable and they're fun, but they also have the shapes in the score. This is more like the traditional major scale. So if you look at this diagram, I also watched a little lady in Virginia explaining these and how you memorize them. Do, if you look at the triangle and you think Delta, you think Delta Airlines, it is their brand, which I also didn't connect until that. Ray, she remembers Ray because it looks like the bill of her friend Ray's cap. I don't know if that'll work, but me is, of course, the diamond because diamonds are for me. That's a little bit maybe genderfied, probably. So a fa is the flag, so fa flag. Sol is this round or oval shape like the sun, sol sun. La is the, there are 2 L, if you think of 2 L's put together, right? Make a rectangular square. And then T, it looks like a golf tee. So somehow I thought these would be maybe a little more codified or like a secret code, but it's not. It looks like a golf tee, and so that's how you remember it. But this is just one lady's method. So many of you have more experience in shape note singing than I do, but it is truly a fascinating thing, and it was begun by William Smith in Pennsylvania as a way to teach, I think, generally uneducated people, certainly unmusically educated people, how to read music. It was kind of quick. It was simple. When you're on this so, it sounds like this. When you're on this so, it sounds like this. If I had grown up in what they call the fa sol la method, which was the first method I showed you, and then I took music theory in college, I would be completely a mess. But the more I study it, the more a lot of it makes sense. So look at the rock that is higher than I, which should be the rock that is higher than me, but I didn't write this. Or the rock, I guess, that is higher than I am. Yes, Dr. Mosley will straighten me out on that. Again, I want to keep you singing, but it's worth it to notice that you're starting on the melody line, sol, like the sun, the round note. Do is the delta, do, triangle, right? And that's the mi, which is the diamond, and diamonds are for me. Yep. Sol, do, mi, do, sol, la, do, la, sol. You could do it that way. That's something I just want you to think about this week as you're working on it, and see how well you do getting used to what those shapes represent. You know, education is always helpful. You never know when you might be in a congregation and all you have are shapes. What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to say, oh, I learned something about this. Okay. Sing whatever part you want to sing. This is a hymn. Hymnody is what also was used through the church, the Protestant and the Catholic Church, for music education. People in the congregation used to pick the bass line, pick the tenor line, pick the alto line, soprano line, and then switch a part on a different verse, if you like. And that's what I remember growing up. And it reinforced my sight reading. Here we go. Let's take verses 1 and 3. We'll have a good old hymn sing. confident on that. On here to the rock let me keep. And sorrows and memory, or walking the shadowy vale. Oh, then to the rock let me fly to the rock that is higher than I. Oh, then to the rock we fly, to the rock that is higher than I. So this week, I kind of butchered that alto part. Forgive me, altos. I was trying to do both at once. But this week, try to sing it with just thinking about the shapes of the notes. Just try it. It's hard for me to divorce my eyes and my brain from all that I know, but it's been a good exercise for me to force myself to figure out, okay, that shape is that. I used to believe for years and years that shape note singing, that the different shapes meant different rhythmic vowels. And come to find out I'm totally wrong, that they are actual pitches every time. The rhythm is the traditional rhythm. It's a quarter note is a quarter note, you know. Okay, we're going to look at now Idumea. Just for a little bit, Idumea. This is from the book, The Sacred Harp. Which was I thought I wrote the date down, early 1800s. There are some amazing things about the history that actually come right back to Asheville. Well, sorry. I have to look it up now. You know the Mountain Folk and Dance Festival? It's in its 98th year this August, and they're hoping to be back on the stage with the cloggers and everything. I worked out an arrangement with them for them to come to UNCA. So UNCA Lipinski Hall is their new home. I was really proud of that. But also UNCA in our music department, largely through the efforts of Dr. Toby King, who's the bluegrass instructor and ethnomusicologist, we are building and creating a roots music institute. And so this Mountain Heritage Folk and Dance Festival is a great wedding of that. And Southern Harmony, so the reason I mentioned that, the Mountain Heritage group that puts on that dance and music festival actually produced one of the later versions of the Christian harmony. And so the Christian harmony, there's Southern Harmony, there's Christian harmony, there's Sacred Harp. All of these are these songbooks and are used often in shape note singing. One of the I think the latest edition that came out in maybe the 70s or early 80s was by our own Asheville housed, Asheville grounded Mountain Heritage group. So that was really cool to find that out. Okay, Idumea. So this is where we've done this before. We did this on a concert a couple of years ago. Raise your hand if you were singing on that concert and you remember singing this song. Mike Phipps. Melody Goldberg, didn't you sing
it was actually a Tempest performance.
Oh, that's right. So what I had the singers do is sing.
Christine was remembering that.
That would be Taryn and Mike. So remember how I had y'all sing in the farthest nasal place you could go with it. So I want everybody to start singing on page 6. On page 6 we have soon as from earth I go, except we're. So sopranos, if this is too low, sing up an octave for a little bit, and then, yeah, for this section. But I want everybody to sing, and I want you to think about singing as nasal as you can. So everybody go like this. Go. Ha! Ha! Reminds me of Lily Tomlin. Be Lily Tomlin on the as a phone operator. Remember? See, I'm old. I know stuff like that. That's even better. So you're going to sing in a super low register. Soon as from earth I go, and sing your R's. This is the only time, one and only time you can sing those R's. If you're up here soprano, sing soon as from earth I go. If you're really far forward, you're not going to hurt anything. But if anything feels like you're stressing on your throat, then don't do it that far nasal, okay? Do what you need to do to protect your voice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Soon as from earth I go, what will become of me? Eternal happiness or woe must then my portion be. Eternal happiness or woe must then my portion be. So the way we would do it in performance, possibly, and I've never had Tempest do this, but it would be really cool to do it even more authentically and sing, soon as my earth I go, with my hand, you know? So we're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And it may be that some groups would do 1, 2, 3 every beat. So I think that's probably more authentic, but I would want us in performance to just modify that a little bit. But as you're working on it, I want you to sing through and practice this song and learn your parts as far nasal as you can go. Now, if you look over on page 10 for a minute, there's no way a soprano 1 can sing a high G purely in her nose. If she did, we would all run away. So no. With the exception of the soprano part and maybe here and there the soprano 2 part, but you can still sing it straight tone. And so that's what you'd work on, is singing all of this straight tone as plain can be. And the tenors and basses are, and the basses and baritones are almost like they're the driving, they're that, it's almost a whirly-girly sound, whirly-gurdy sound, excuse me. You know, that, and it's real ugly and it should be, but it's actually pretty fun to sing that far forward in the resonant space. It takes all the pressure off the throat. And then if you get in the mood after you practice all your parts on this, you can sing, New York, New York, a wonderful town. You know, you can go all Ethel Merman if you want, because that's the same resonance placement that she used, which is how she could cut through the orchestra and be heard in the, you know, many decades before sound reinforcement and microphones. She just went to that nasal space, and it's become the Broadway sound ever since. So work on that. I want to move now. I'm moving quickly to Glorious Things. Now, I think I did this with Tempest. Did I? No. Mike, did you ever sing this with me? I think I did it with my college group. So, except anybody who went on that on the trip to Greece, which a few of you did in here, I kind of arranged this for that group and for that tour. And so that was the premiere over there on Syros. I've just taken a piece from Southern Harmony itself, a piece from the book called Glorious Things, and the tune is, if you look, the main tune you'll find in the, if you look in the alto and tenor part on the second page, measure 18. That's the A part. And then in measure 22, yeah, so the tenor part has the melody. And then it goes on. So that there's an A section, there's a B section. As by word of explanation, because I really love for the National Choral Society to give the American premiere. I want to give you some notes about the beginning because I couldn't score it exactly like I wanted it. So if you've got your pencil ready, and then on next Monday we'll sing through this together. We can still sing a little of it. So this chord at the beginning, this drone, that has the basses here, baritone, alto, soprano, that should continue through the rest of it until measure 8. Does your measure 8 say in tempo? Oh, see, I think I have a bunch more notes that should have gotten copied. Laurel, let me copy my score that has all the notes with the dynamics, and we'll have it for you so you can transfer the notes onto your score. Or you can just upload the new. It's not very long. So at measure 8, you should write in tempo. So after the drone, so the drone at the beginning, the fermata chord at the beginning is going to continue. And then the tenor is going to sing, when I point to the tenors, you're going to start singing, glorious things, intermittently. And I don't want it to be glorious things. I want it to be glorious things. These are things in our rehearsal together, we could iron all this out and straighten it out. But I wanted to give you a heads up because I think it's a little confusing. And then the tenor would keep going. Then I would point to the bass section and they would go, glorious things. I'm just flipping it on its head. Glorious things, glorious things. And the basses wouldn't be together. Individual voices would just go whenever you want to go. So some people could sing it a little faster. Some people could sing it a little slower. And then altos, glorious things, etc., 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 etc. You're not droning anymore if your part has started into its repeated thing, right? And then soprano too. Glorious things are spoken, glorious things are spoken, glorious, and on. And then finally, all of that keeps going and is building in volume. And then soprano and glorious things are spoken, glorious things are spoken. And finally, I'll give the cue for us to all hold the final note of whatever our little motif is. Then at measure 8, the tenor starts. So let's all sing from measure 8, if you've got some of those notes written down. Tenors, then altos, then sopranos, and basses. Yours is a little tricky because you start at the page turn, right after the page turn. So you got to be ready for that. Let's start with the tenors at 8, and everybody come in. 1, 2, not too fast, and altos, soprano, tenors, stop there. Let's go back and do that one more time. Starting with tenors, measure 8. Sing your part. Basses, I'll try to get you in there better. 1, 2, 3, measure 8. Basses. be a fermata right there. Draw in a fermata, and there's a retard starting at measure 28. Retard 28 into 29, and then the last note you have in measure 29, draw in a fermata over that note. The word is repose, and on pose is the fermata. Then it's slower. Is that right? Yeah. Then it's a little slower. So now we're going to start at lifting voices. Everybody see that? Lifting voices. Bass, tenor, alto 2, alto 1, soprano. Soprano, you have the melody. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Breath. Now this chord has also got a fermata, and it acts like the chord at the beginning of the piece. Tenor start, so everybody holds. You hold on that chord on the fermata on your note until your next vocal part, until you're, it's not quite aleatoric because it's not improvisational, but it is intermittent and chants when you enter in and start again. So we hold this, tenors go, glorious things, glorious things. We let them repeat for a while. Basses come in, glorious things, and they repeat for a while. And I do like this. This is my conducting. How's that? And then altos, glorious things. And we build it just like the beginning up until a forte, second soprano, glorious things are spoken. That should be marked as second soprano, glorious things are spoken. And then finally, glorious things are spoken, glorious things. And then I gradually decrescendo, we keep going, we keep going, we keep going. And then finally spoken. And that's how it ends. This could be a really cool piece as a recessional. You know, walking out and the sound gets like you are travelers walking away, continuing on your journey. That's kind of the. Christine, is that Gary? Gary, I haven't seen you in so long. Hello. And kitty cat. Okay, thank you for letting me introduce that. I'm very excited about sharing that with you. I've run out of time, but the next piece I wanted to get to, and I want you all to really work on, is Beautiful Morning, this lovely John Wyckoff. The piece that I played by the Utah College Choir, where they're standing on the railroad, is also by Wyckoff. He is putting out some amazing, amazing stuff. So if you'll look, the place I was going to start, and I'll start here on Monday, is the pick up to page 10. If you'll notice, all the divisions, there's all this divisi. So soprano 2, alto 2, tenor 2, and bass 2 are singing. What a happy company, we'll all rise together in the morning. May I be there, etc. And the rest of the parts, the first parts are like the fireworks, right? In the morning, almost like you're gathering together and you're all going down to the river for a picnic, and you're just and da-dee-da-da-dee, and somebody says, whoo, you know, we've done songs like that before, but I love this writing, and I love how it's all spread out so you can see. And this is what I meant from the beginning about thinking about what the other parts are doing and how your part fits in, and how you can hear those harmonies and not be afraid that it's going to pull you off your part. Because if you know your part well, then you can open your ears and it won't pull you off your part. It's something wonderful to do. It's the best kind of communal singing. When you're singing in somebody's face, your part, and they're singing in your face, their part. And it's just a blast. So that is fabulous. I hope you put in the chat your history with shape notes singing. Before this particular research, I would have told you 0 for my experience. And I've done a ton of kinds of singing. So I was actually really intimidated about doing this. So, but I love learning. So it's been good for me. And I'm eager to read later on what's in the chat. I can't possibly look at the chat while I'm doing this. So thank you very much. It's 7:59. I want to honor your time. Namaste. And I'll see you next Monday. Love you. Mwah.